everyone, welcome to our channel Sangeeta to Teach. I hope everyone is doing well. Please take care of yourself and stay safe. So, I hope your preparation is also going good. So, today in this video, we're going to cover the Employee Compensation Act 1923, and this is going to be part 2. So, in part 1, we have already covered the important schedules, chapters, and important definitions like dependents, and also solved some MCQs. So, if at all you have missed the part 1, I'm going to give the link in the description. Please have a look at it. So in this particular video, we're going to cover the latest amendments and we are going to calculate some problems related to compensation. So at the end, we are going to have some practice questions on how we are going to do the compensation calculation, right? Before we get into the details of the class, let me share some good news for you all that I have started a new page on Instagram, that is Sangeeta to Teach, where you get job updates, exam notification, coaching for HR competitive exams, career counseling, and also the interview guidance. So if at all you feel to get connected, you can please follow us and get new updates related to your exam or related to your job, and you can get your career guidance as well. So if at all you have any doubts related to subject, also can be asked. So please get connected with me on Instagram through Sangeeta to Teach. So my dear friends, I am going to give the link in the description as well. Please join us and let's be a part of this family. So coming to the agenda of the class, we are going to cover the amount of compensation to be calculated and the latest amendments and the time limit of compensation to be paid. So within what is the limit or the duration that the compensation is going to be paid is discussed, and also we are going to look at the examples on the calculation of compensation. So if at all when you are looking at a problem, what are the things that you have to keenly note is also given in this particular tip. Coming to the latest amendments of Employee Compensation Act 1923, the first thing is that it has received its President assert on April 12, 2017. So these amendments are: the employer informs the employee about the right of compensation under the Act in writing as well as through electronic media. So it is the duty of an employer to inform his employee about what are the rights that he is going to get under this Act. So it has to be in written as well as in an electronic media. So it is his duty. If at all is not doing this duty, if at all this employer is not informing his employees about what rights they are going to get under this compensation, then the employer is liable to pay the penalty. So previously the penalty has been 5,000, but now this has been increased to 50,000, and this may be extended to 1 lakh as well. So you know that it is the duty of an employer to inform the employee about his rights on the compensation. If at all is not doing, the employer is liable to pay the penalty. And now the penalty, before it was 5,000, but now it has been increased to 50,000, and it may be extended to 1 lakh as well. Okay, the minimum amount involved in a dispute for which an appeal may be filed with the High Court has been increased from 300 to 10,000. So for example, if there is some dispute related to compensation, whether the employer is not paying you compensation, or whether he had paid some less amount, or whether he had delayed in paying the amount, or so there is a dispute that is happening, right? So in that particular situation, an employee can go and file a case in the High Court. So what is the limit? See, before the dispute amount should be 300 before, but now the dispute amount must be 10,000. You got my point? The minimum amount involved in the dispute. So at least if it is 10,000 rupees that you have to get in compensation, then you can go and file a case in the High Court. So before it was 300, but now it is 10,000. Coming to the very latest amendment that has been taken place in 2020, that it is the monthly salary wage ceiling has been increased to 15,000. So before it was 8,000 per month, and now it is 15,000 per month. What is this wage ceiling? We'll talk in detail, and you will have a clarity when you are doing your sums. So this is effective from 3rd January 2020. So let me say you. So the monthly wage is nothing but how much amount he is receiving. So what is his wage ceiling? For example, if you're going to calculate for how much ever money he is going to get in his monthly wage, it is the compensation is going to be very much bigger number. So they have limited the wage ceiling. For example, if your salary is 20,000, you're not going to consider the amount of monthly salary as 20,000 on your compensation while calculating your compensation. So if it is more than 15,000, you're going to consider only 15,000 as your wage ceiling while calculating the employee compensation. You will have a clarity when you're doing the sums. For right now, you just remember, if the salary is more than 15,000, you're going to consider the wage ceiling as 15,000 as the monthly salary. If it is less, you're going to consider the lesser amount. It is less than 15,000, you're going to consider the actual salary as the monthly salary and calculate the compensation. So for now, you remember that if it is more than 15,000, you're going to consider the wage ceiling, the monthly wage, as 15,000 only. Before this was 8,000, but now it has increased to 15,000. Coming to the chapter 2 that talks about the employee compensation, section 4 provides for the manner in which the compensation amount is discovered as under. So in case of death, that is section 4(1) of A says that hire of 50% of deceased employee monthly wage multiplied by relevant factor. So it says that 50% of his monthly wage into relevant factor, or 1,20,000. Whichever is higher, they are going to give it as a compensation. So you have to remember, for a death person, it is 50% of his monthly salary into relevant factor, or 1,20,000. So here there is another question that you can get. What is the minimum amount that is compensated in case of death? It is 1,20,000. In similar way, in case of permanent total disablement, that is under section 141 of B, it says that hire of 60% of the deceased employee monthly wages into relevant factor of 1,40,000. So for permanent total disablement, you're going 60% of his monthly wage into relevant factor, or 1,40,000. So the question can be, what is the minimum amount that is compensated in case of permanent total disablement? That is 1,40,000. So this is the minimum amount that he is going to get. But when calculated, 60% of monthly wage into relevant factor, or 1,40,000, he has to get the higher amount. Okay. In case of total or partial disablement, half monthly payment to the sum equivalent to 25% of the monthly wage. That is, you're going to get half monthly payment. That is, for 15 days you're going to get your salary. Coming to the next points, that is, for permanent partial disablement, section 4 of C, it is talking about permanent partial disablement. Okay, the amount directly proportionate to loss of earning capacity. So whatever the earning capacity you used to have before, and it is directly proportional to that amount. If your earning capacity has been lost completely, then you're going to get more amount. It depends upon what kind of injury or disease that you're going through. So if you have 2 legs removed, or 1 hand removed, and 1 eye is removed, then the compensation is going to be more, right? The amount of that is directly proportionate to loss of earning capacity. The more the loss of earning capacity, the more is the amount. This is the point. For for permanent disablement, that is section 4(2) of 2A, it says that, so it is temporary disablement. The person is going to be fine after some days, but you don't know for how many days. For this, they have considered, if if a person is going to get his temporary disablement greater than or equal to 28 days, the amount is half monthly payment, begins from 16th day after the disablement. So you're going to get, if your disablement is for greater than 28 days or equal to 28 days, the amount that you're going to get is half monthly payment, and that you're going to get it from the 16th day after the disablement. Coming to the next point, that is less than 28 days. See, your injury can be cured within less than 28 days. Then the amount is from the 16th day after the expiry of waiting period of 3 days from the date of disablement. So here also you're going to get the amount from the 16th day. You have to remember this. Okay. The thing is that the employer is not going to pay you compensation if the injury is less than 3 days. So he is not liable to pay you compensation if the injury is for less than 3 days. So here it is not less than 3 days, it is greater than 3 days but less than 28 days. In that case, you're going to get your compensation after the 16th day. So you're going to get the amount from the 16th day, okay, after the disablement. So greater than 28 days, you're going to get the half monthly payment. Whereas less than 28 days, you're going to get the amount from the 16th day. Both are from the 16th day only. But whereas greater than or equal to 28 days, you're going to get half monthly payment. Whereas less than 28 days, you're going to get full payment but from the 16th day. Okay. Note, if the monthly wage of an employee exceeds 8,000, the amount of compensation will be calculated on 8,000. This was before. But now what we are doing? But now the limit of 8,000 is changed to 15,000. If the salary, the monthly wage is greater than 15,000, you're going to consider only 15,000 as the wage ceiling. Remember this point. It is very, very important. Whenever you're doing a problem, whenever you're solving a problem, look for a monthly wage. When the monthly wage is greater than 15,000, you're going to consider 15,000 only. If it is less than 15,000, you're going to consider the original value of the monthly salary. Okay. So half monthly payment, as I said you, half monthly payment is paid when the temporary disablement is greater than or equal to 28 days, and this will continue for less than or equal to 5 years, and the payment of funeral expenses is 10,000. Okay. Coming to section 4A, that is compensation to be paid in time. So this falls under the chapter commissioners. So commissioner is a person who takes care that your compensation is paid in time, and the section 25A deals with the time limit of disposal of cases relating to compensation. So section 25A, remember this, section 25A will deal with the time limit of disposal of cases relating to compensation. The commissioner shall dispose the matter of relating to the compensation under this act within a period of less than 3 months from the reference. So within 3 months he has to solve the matter and give his decision to the employee. Okay. If the employer delays the compensation by 1 month from the due date, so the employer is not paying you compensation even after 1 month, then what will the commissioner do? The commissioner will direct the payment of interest at 12%. So at what percent rate? It is 12% rate. So remember, if he is delaying the compensation by 1 month even after the due date, then the commissioner will directly ask the employer to pay you interest at 12%. Okay. And if the commissioner does not find any justification for delay, so the employer is asked for the justification, so why there is a delay. So even if the employer gives his justification but the commissioner is not satisfied with that justification of delay, then he may direct the penalty not exceeding 50% of the amount payable. So he has to pay the penalty, the employer, because he did not give any justification and the commissioner is not satisfied with the justification, he is going to pay the penalty. The penalty will not be more than 50% of the amount payable. Coming to the tips for solving the compensation problems. So first thing, when you look at the question, look for what type, whether it is disablement or death. So for disablement, it is you calculate 60% of monthly wage into relevant factor or 1,40,000, whichever is higher. Whereas coming to death, you consider 50% of the monthly wage into relevant factor or 1,20,000, whichever is higher. So next point, thus the first point is you have to know the type, whether the question is about the disablement or death. The second point, you have to look at the monthly wage. If the monthly wage is more than 15,000, you're going to consider 15,000. If the monthly wage is less than 15,000, you're going to consider the original monthly wage. Okay. And in the notification or the latest amendment of 2020, the amount has been increased. The wage ceiling amount has been increased from 8,000 to 15,000. You have to know this point as well. And the next one you look in the question is for the relevant factor. What is the relevant factor? So these are the 3 points where when you calculate your compensation. So disablement we discussed, and death also we discussed. So now let's solve some problems related to compensation. So the first problem is calculate the amount of compensation that an employee is to be paid who suffers from a permanent total disablement from an injury under the Employee Compensation Act 1923. The monthly wage of an employee is 21,000. The relevant factor is 216.91. So my dear friends, the first type we are going to see is permanent total disablement. So what do you consider for permanent total disablement? You consider 60% of the monthly wage into relevant factor. So monthly wage here is 21,000, which is greater than 15,000. So I'm going to consider the monthly wage as 15,000 only. So whenever the monthly wage is higher than 15,000, we are going to consider 15,000 as the wage ceiling and into relevant factor. So when you do, there is some number. That number or 1,40,000. So whichever is higher, we are going to consider that particular number. So let's see the solution. In case of permanent total disablement, the higher of 60% monthly wage into relevant factor or 1,40,000. The monthly wage, I said you, it is 21,000, which is greater than 15,000. So we are considering the ceiling as 15,000. The next point, 60% of monthly wage into relevant factor. So the answer is 19,52,190. So because it is greater than 1,40,000, we are going to consider the highest one. So that is 19,52,190. So this is the solution. Coming to the next problem. Calculate the amount of compensation that is to be paid to the dependents of the employee where death results from an injury under the provisions of Employee Compensation Act 1923. The monthly wage of an employee is 7,500 and the relevant factor is 207.98. So this is death. So we are going to consider 50% of the monthly wage into relevant factor. So this amount, the monthly wage is 7,500, which is less than 15,000. So we are going, which is less than 15,000. So whenever the monthly wage is less than 15,000, we are going to consider the original value of the monthly wage. So less than 15,000, we are going to consider original monthly wage. So we are going to consider 7,500 only. And coming to the relevant factor, 207.98. So let's see the solution for this. In case of death, we know it is 50% into monthly wage into relevant factor or 1,20,000. So from the given question, the compensation paid in case of death. So the monthly wage is 7,000 and the relevant factor is this. So we are going to calculate that 50% of monthly wage into relevant factor, which is 7,79,925, which is more than 1,20,000. So this will be the amount that is going to be compensated in case of death. Okay, let's see the next question, which is a practice question. So an employee working in an organization dies. So here also the death situation has come. So here we'll consider 50% into monthly wage into relevant factor or 1,20,000, whichever is higher. So what is his monthly wage? It is 18,000 per month. 18,000 per month and the relevant factor is 186.90. So we know that 50% of monthly wage. What monthly wage is greater than 15,000. So we are considering only 15,000. Okay, and into relevant factor. That is 186.90 or 1,20,000, whichever is higher. So obviously the 50% into monthly wage into relevant factor will be higher, right? So let's see the solution. The same thing. So it is 18,000. So as it is higher than greater than 15,000, we consider the monthly wage as 15,000 only. So 50% of monthly wage into relevant factor is 50% of 15,000 into 186.90 and the answer is 14 lakhs and 1750 rupees. So this amount is compensated in this particular case. And now let's see one other question for the day is, under the Employee Compensation Act 1923, the minimum amount of compensation payable to an employee suffering from a permanent total disablement from the injury is. So considering the permanent total disablement, we know it is 60% of monthly wage into relevant factor, or 1,40,000. So the minimum amount that we are going to pay is 1,40,000. So the answer will be 1,40,000. Similarly, in case of death, the minimum amount of compensation we are going to pay is, in case of death, it is 1,20,000. Remember this point, and practice more questions related to employee compensation. And I hope this video is clear, and please do like and share, and thank you.